Hey there to my remaining subscribers, which I am losing at a steady rate because I am insane. And thank you very much for joining me for another episode of Total Ramblings. This is another Doctor Who review episode, and we are looking at episode 5 of this series, Dot and Bubble. I have to say, let's start. There will be spoilers. You have been warned. If you want to unsubscribe, please do so now. Yes, there will be spoilers. I'm going to be talking about the complete plot. Another interesting episode. Totally different pace, obviously, to last... Well, not obviously. Totally different pace to last week. Possibly even the week before. Another kind of Doctor Light episode. And also a slightly Ruby Light episode, if I'm honest. I've read a couple of things online that suggest that Ncuti Gatwa had to have his schedule fitted around other filming commitments. I don't know if that's accurate or not, but I think they've done a very good job in this episode. So essentially, we're on a planet. I don't think the planet itself has a name, but there is reference to a home world, which is, so this is a colony of the home world, presumably a moon or not too far away anyway. And we're actually in like a little gated community on this planet called Fine Time. Essentially, we've got a tiny town protected by force fields with the whole rest of the planet, untamed, as it were. And we're following a young lady named Lindy, who appears to live in a perfect Barbie type world where everybody looks beautiful, everything's pastel colours, and everything is basically controlled and operated through some kind of social media network. She has this little device called Dot, which flies around her and generates a bubble of her sort of friends and contacts. So basically, she's literally living in a bubble, right? She's isolated from the world. It tells her where to walk, when to turn, when to walk again. She literally sees nothing of the outside world. She complains that she has to go to work for 2 hours a day. So she's obviously very spoilt. And it's basically, an idyllic society. And I was kind of getting vibes of other sort of idyllic societies in old Doctor Who, from old Doctor Who. So, for example, the Macra, the colony there. I'm also getting vibes of sort of the Happiness Patrol to a degree, especially later on when we kind of get to the underside of the city, in the conduits, so to speak. Lindy's interacting with her friends. She's not actually interacting with the outside world other than physically. She's not perceiving it. She's not looking at what's going on. And one of her friends keeps popping up saying, hey, have you seen so-and-so? And it seems that a lot of people are going missing. Essentially, most of her interaction with the Doctor and Ruby is through one of these kind of pop-up screens. I imagine for Ncuti and Millie Gibson, those scenes would have taken, half a day to record. So you can easily see how, if this theory is correct about Ncuti Gatwa's other filming commitments, that how this might have fitted in with that. And basically, they're trying to convince Lindy to lower her bubble and actually perceive what's going on, because she's gone to work. She's working in a room with 5 other people, although I don't know why she would need to physically go anywhere, but whatever. And those people aren't actually there. Well, one of them is, although he's being eaten by a monster, a sort of giant slug. I was wondering for a moment if they were like relatives or if they were going to be the Tractators from the story Frontios, because they looked a bit like that from the back. But yeah, I'm also getting kind of iRobot vibes from the Asimov or Caves of Steel, that kind of thing, where basically, I can't remember the name of the planet, but there's a planet of humans who are, robots outnumber them like 100 to 1, and they live on vast tracts of land and never actually meet other people. And in a way, this is kind of like that, because Lindy's never been hugged. She's living in this bubble. She's interacting virtually with these people, but she's not actually physically interacting with them. There's a kind of pop star that everybody follows, a guy called Ricky September, who sort of pops up every now and then with his latest hit. But anyway, Lindy sees her colleague being devoured by one of these giant slugs. And it's basically, wow. It turns out when she lowers the bubble, she can't even walk properly. She's so totally reliant upon this bubble telling her to move and when to walk, etc., that she actually finds it impossible to walk without it, without instructions. And essentially the Doctor and Ruby are trying to persuade her to sort of leave. So we kind of see it's utilitarian, the outside of this sort of colony. They're basically processing data, but it doesn't look unpleasant. Presumably some office complex in Cardiff is probably where it was filmed. I don't know. But yeah, basically the Doctor's trying to help her get to a series of old conduits under the city where he can basically try and rescue as many people as possible. I wondered, so there was a little bit of mystery there in that some people appeared to be immune to being eaten by these giant slug things, who we never actually learned the name of. I thought maybe it was based off of friend lists, maybe they were saying, oh, he's a friend of so-and-so, but it turns out it was more simple than that. They were just being eaten alphabetically, which leads us to possibly the most brutal, one of two majorly brutal elements of this story. Lindy acts very superior and doesn't like interlopers, doesn't want to interact with the Doctor and Ruby, doesn't seem terribly grateful really that, they're saving her. And she's very self-centered. And while she's trapped in a room with Ricky September, and essentially it's revealed that the monsters have probably either been brought there or created by the Dot, which has just been whizzing around her all the time, and it's grown to hate her, basically. So this entire social media network has generated these monsters, or brought these monsters to this planet to try and kill these shattering people who just talk rubbish all day, And essentially that gets revealed, and the Dot is trying to kill Lindy. And in an absolutely brutal turn, she reveals that Ricky September's real name is Coombs. And in a genius bit of animation, the Dot kind of looks around, and it's killing people in alphabetical order, right? So he's got to go first. So this hero of hers, this pop star, this person who's basically just saved her life and whom she's trying to escape with, she just instantly betrays him and basically says, kill him, not me, in a way. And he's like, I mean, that's dark, right? That is dark. For such a colourful, lively sort of colour scheme in this episode, that's a dark turn, right? And then basically we end up underground. I think the Doctor and Ruby are a bit suspicious as to why Ricky isn't there, but we don't get to explore that. And the Doctor's desperate to save these people, and they want to just leave the city and go and explore the planet and colonise it. These people don't stand a chance. Lindy couldn't even walk an hour, half an hour before without the Dot and the bubble telling her where to go. These people do not stand a chance. They're going to be exterminated. They're going to be slaughtered pretty quickly. And the Doctor knows this. And he's desperately saying, look, come with me on board the TARDIS. I can save you all. But they are so superior and aloof and kind of cold to people who are not in their network or not one of them, that they're like, stay away, Lindy, before you get contaminated. They're well aware that their entire homeworld has been wiped out, population zero. They know help isn't coming, but they're so superior and arrogant, they decide to strike out anyway. And the Doctor is devastated by this because, Lindy's like, well, you've saved me now. You had a duty to save me. Thanks. But basically go away now. And we get to the second really dark bit where they're sort of floating out in their Willy Wonka style boat. And the music at this point was just epic. The Doctor just knows that they are not going to make it and that he could have saved them all, but their own arrogance won't let that happen. And, I kind of thought maybe we'd see them leave under this big waterfall and they'd all die instantly. But no, it's left to the imagination. But the imagination only goes so far. We know they're going to die. We just don't know how quickly or how horribly they're going to die. And it's just kind of, I don't know what this is, if this is a commentary on something, tribalism. I don't know. Forgot to say, these are my immediate off-the-cuff reactions to this episode, right? I've literally 30 seconds ago just finished watching it. So Anything I'm saying now is completely spur of the moment, off the cuff. And I kind of thought this was like the opposite of a Stephen Moffat story. Everybody in this one dies. I kind of like the stories where everybody dies, particularly with the mood I'm in today. Horror of Fang Rock is a fantastic story, and apart from the Doctor and Leela, everybody dies. And in this story, apart from the Doctor and Ruby, everybody dies. Yeah, it's kind of, that's pretty dark, right? And like I say, for the sort of the color scheme of this episode with this dark undertone, amazing, right? And like I say, it reminded me of the Happiness Patrol. We've got this beautiful functioning, allegedly functioning society on the top with these dark undertones of the sort of the conduits and tunnels and things underneath. And that just kind of reminded me a lot of that. And yeah, again, another episode I really liked. This one maybe not bearing quite so much repeat viewing as the previous two, but it's not a bad episode by any means. I am really digging this season. We've got a trailer, of course, for the next episode, which is the Bridgerton-style episode. I've never seen Bridgerton, but I know what it's about. I know roughly the vibe it's going for. I don't know anything about the plot other than what's in the trailer. You know, there seems to be a sci-fi element of there. Obviously, it's not just a pure historical. So, yeah, it should be interesting to watch. There's only apparently 8 episodes in this series, and we're on episode 5, so we're over halfway. We've only got 3 to go. Oh yes, so we also saw, of course, the same lady who played the ambulance reappearing. What is it, Mrs. Twist? Is that what they're calling her? I can't remember now. But yes, so and also the Doctor and Ruby are putting 2 and 2 together now about this recurring face that they keep seeing, and it's interesting that Ruby knows she's seen her before, but can't remember where because there was that alternate timeline in episode 73 Yards. So. That was an interesting kind of recollection on her point of view. So yeah, that's the episode, Dot and Bubble. Another one that I really enjoyed, quite tense in many ways. And yeah, so that's the end of that. I am going to go away now. And if you are here just for the Doctor Who episodes, I will see you in about a week's time. If you are here for other episodes, I will probably see you maybe tomorrow. I've got a couple of brand new Lego sets that came out today that I need to review. If you want to unsubscribe because I'm a deranged lunatic who occasionally posts rants, then that's absolutely fine. Other people have been doing that and I honestly don't care. But I hope you've enjoyed the video regardless. So like I say, if you're here for the next Doctor Who stuff, I'll see you in about a week's time. Bye-bye.
If you enjoy what I do here, although I can't think why, please remember to click the like button, smash that subscribe button, and hit the bell icon to be notified whenever I post a new video. You might also want to check out my website, www.worldsbestestpoet.com, if you fancy a laugh.